comfortably. So getting yourself situated on your mat, having your legs in any position that feels best for you. And just getting your spine nice and long, reaching the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Closing your eyes, going inside, checking in to see how this beautiful body is feeling today, where it's talking to you, and listening to those spots that are a little noisy. As we go through our class today, we're going to do a full body flow today, stretching all parts. We're going to start with our neck, so dropping your chin to your chest, letting the back of the neck stretch out. Taking a couple of breaths. And then slowly taking your nose into a big circle. See how all parts of your neck are feeling this morning. And then taking your nose in the other direction. Nice big circle. And coming back to center, let's take the shoulders to our ears, letting the shoulders roll down your back so your chest is opening wide. We'll bring our fingers to the floor. And inhale, reaching those arms up, palms come together, and exhale to your heart center. Just pausing here as you close your eyes again. Setting an intention for your practice, an intention for your day. And when you've got that, let's reach the fingertips back to the ceiling, letting the hands float back down towards the floor. We'll take the left arm all the way up and stretching it over. Breathing into that space, keeping your sits bones on the floor. And then slowly coming back up. Let's reach the other arm up and over. Taking a few moments to breathe into that space. And then back to center. Left hand to the right knee, right hand reaching behind and looking over your shoulder. Keeping that spine nice and long and just opening up the shoulder blade. And then coming back to center, let's fold over the hips. Letting your head hang down. Breathing all the way up the back body. And then slowly rising back up. If your legs are crossed this morning, let's uncross them and cross them the other way. So the other leg is on top or in front. And then we'll take the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. And looking over your left shoulder. And then coming back to center, let's fold back over the hips. Checking in to see how this side feels this morning. And then making your way back up. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees. So getting yourself into a table position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips, fingers wide. Getting the creases of your elbows to face towards the front of the mat. And then we'll do some cat-cows, exhaling, bringing your spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale, letting your belly sink down as your head and tailbone come up, keeping those arms nice and straight, moving back and forth. Closing your eyes and just feeling each of these movements and how your breath works with them. Beautiful. Coming back to center, let's sink the hips to the heels. You might want to take your knees a little further apart. We'll come into child's pose for a breath or two. Letting your head relax down. And with each exhalation, feeling yourself sinking deeper. Then we'll slowly come back up and bringing our belly all the way down to the floor. Let's bring our hands underneath our forehead. Letting your head relax, letting your hips relax. Breathing into your belly. And with your left hand on top, we're going to take our left cheek and look over to the right. And then just lifting your head and lowering it. Work on our back and strengthening that back. Just lifting and lowering here. And then resting your head onto your hand, we're going to lift the hand and the head, lowering. So left hand and head come up and down. And let's do two more. Beautiful. Let your head rest back onto your hands. Breathing into your belly. And then we'll switch sides, setting your right hand on top of your left, looking over towards the left side. And just starting by lifting your head and lowering, going up as high as feels comfortable for your back. And then letting your cheek rest on your hand, we're going to lift the arm and the head at the same time. So strengthening the muscles in your back. And then coming back to center, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows are tucking in towards your body. And just peeling up a little baby cobra. And then lowering back down. And again, lifting up. And lowering down. And this time, lifting up without your hands on the mat. Holding. And lowering back down. Let's push back into our child's pose. Taking a few breaths into that lower back. Imagine you're blowing up a balloon. And then coming back into table, let's take the left foot forward, sinking into the hips, coming into our low lunge. So ankle is underneath that left knee, hands on either side of your foot, sinking down, resting, breathing. And then let's walk the fingers back and straighten out that left leg, bringing your nose to your knee. allowing your hamstrings to stretch out. And then we'll walk forward, sinking back into that low lunge. Let's bring the hands onto the left knee, sinking down a little bit deeper. Maybe squeezing the thighs. Let's reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Letting your shoulders relax. Keeping your balance. And then maybe bringing your elbows down so you're parallel to the floor. And then we'll take those elbows and arms to the center and back out again. Moving with your breath. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back to the mat. Taking that left leg back and resting back into child's pose again. And then we'll come back up. Let's take the right foot forward, wiggling it in, getting that knee in your armpit if you can. Hands on either side, sinking down into the hips. And then just walking your fingers back, let's straighten that right leg, bringing your nose towards your knee. And then moving forward again. Squeezing those thighs. Let's bring both hands to the right knee, sinking in a little bit deeper. And if you're feeling up for it today, you can reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Taking a few breaths, allowing your shoulders to float down your back. And then bending your elbows, bringing them down on either side of your arm or your head. Let's bring the arms in and out. 2 more. Beautiful. And bringing your arms back down to the floor. Let's curl the back toe. We're going to lift that knee, bringing the right foot back to meet the left, coming into our downward facing dog. Let's pump one heel at a time, taking it nice and slow. Stretching out those calves. And then bringing both heels towards the mat, hips rising up towards the ceiling, head in between your arms. And we'll take a slow, leisurely walk to the top of the mat. And just folding over your hips. If your back is tender, you can bend your knees a little bit. Maybe swaying from side to side. And then coming back to center, let's bend the knees slowly, roll ourselves all the way up. Keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling stable, and then letting your shoulders roll back down. Standing in our mountain pose, feeling both feet nice and solid. Let's inhale, reach all the way up towards the ceiling. Grabbing hold of the left wrist, keeping both feet nice and solid. Let's come over towards the right. Breathing into that space. And then back to center. Let's take hold of the right wrist and take ourselves over to the left. Breathing into that space. And then back to center, letting your arms float down by your sides, and then taking hold of those hands behind your back. If you can pull the fist down towards the floor. Breathing into that heart space, squeezing your shoulders together. And then we're going to slowly fold over the hips, bringing the fists up towards the ceiling. If your back is tender, bend your knees. Always listening to your body. And then releasing your hands back down to the floor. Let's come halfway up so head is pointing to the front of the mat. And then exhale, fold. Squeeze those thighs, reaching the arms up nice and wide. And bringing them back down to your heart. Beautiful. Let's do that little series again. Let's reach up. Taking hold of the left wrist, coming over to the right, reaching back up, taking hold of the right wrist and coming to the left. Back to center, folding or letting the arms fold down and grabbing them behind you, squeezing the shoulders and then folding forward. Fists towards the ceiling, head towards the floor. And releasing your hands, let's make our way all the way down to the floor. And making sure your tailbone feels okay today. We're going to do a little boat pose. So bringing your hands underneath your knees, you can lift one leg off the floor at a time just to test it out. Shoulders are rolling back, belly button pulling in, feeling nice and strong here like a beautiful boat. Maybe lifting your shins up a little bit higher. And if you're feeling up for it this morning, you can take your arms out, breathing, pulling that core in. And if you're feeling really strong in the core, you can come into a canoe and then back into our boat. And let's do that one again. Canoe and a boat. And one last one. Beautiful. Coming back up. Let's wrap the arms around those knees, bringing our forehead back down. Taking a few resting breaths here. Beautiful. Coming back up, let's stretch the legs out. Sitting up nice and tall, coming into staff pose. So shoulders are over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Closing your eyes. Letting everything settle and relax. Noticing where you're holding. And we'll reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let's fold forward. And then letting those arms reach back up. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, fold. And once more, let's reach up. And this time when you fold, just letting your hands rest wherever they are. Taking a few moments to breathe here. Allowing things to settle. And then we'll slowly roll back up. Let's bring the left leg up with us and cross it over. Sitting up tall, we're going to take that right arm around the knee, left arm behind, and looking over your left shoulder. Taking a few breaths here. And then slowly unwind. Let's do the other side. So bringing the right leg up and crossing it over. Sitting up nice and tall, left arm around, right arm behind. Looking over your right shoulder. Reaching the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And then unwinding. And let's bend the knees and slowly easing our way down towards the mat. With your knees bent, we're going to take the right leg up towards the ceiling, pointing your toes. Let's make a few circles with your ankle. And then the other direction. And with your toes pointed, let's spiral onto the ceiling. Some small spirals and getting bigger and bigger. And when you have a nice big circle, you can take it in the other direction. And getting smaller and smaller. And when you have a dot, let's take that right ankle, resting it on the left knee, gently allowing that right knee to move away from your body. If you find that this is enough stretch for your hip, you can just stay like this. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, you can take your hands, thread them through and take hold of that left knee from behind. Let's slowly bring the knee in towards the chest, giving the hip a little stretch this morning. You can even use your right elbow to move that hip away from your body. Just close your eyes here, sending some loving breaths into any tight spots. Beautiful. Let's release the hands if they're behind that knee, bringing the left foot back to the floor. We're going to keep our legs crossed like this with our arms outstretched. We're going to come into a little twist, letting the knees come to the right. So you're going to feel a nice big stretch across the left hip, maybe looking towards the left. And if it's too intense for your knee, your left knee, to have that foot there, you can always remove it, letting it rest down. If it feels okay, the extra weight will help to increase the stretch across that left hip. Just taking some time to breathe here. To release and to let go. And then we'll release the right foot from the left knee, bringing the knees back to center, letting them go from left to right, windshield wipers. Beautiful. Coming back to center, bringing your arms back by your sides. We'll take the left toes to the ceiling this time, rotating the ankle on this side, and then the other way. With your toes pointed, let's start with some small spirals on the ceiling, getting bigger and bigger. And then taking it in the other direction, getting smaller and smaller. And when you have a little dot, we'll rest that left ankle on your right knee, allowing the left knee to ease away from your body. If you want to go deeper, let's thread the hands through, bringing that knee in towards your chest. Close your eyes here and allowing your breath to ease away any tension. And then releasing your hands, let's bring that right foot back to the mat, stretching your arms back out. We'll let the knees float down towards the left this time, looking towards your right, feeling that stretch along that right hip, stretching out that deep psoas muscle here. And then slowly coming back to center, releasing that foot from your knee and letting the knees go from right to left. And then bring your knees in for a hug, wrapping your arms around. We'll just slowly rock back and forth. And then stretch your legs all the way out, taking your arms over your head. Nice big morning stretch. Big full belly breath. And then letting your arms float back down by your sides, palms facing up. Closing your eyes and just taking some time here to allow all of those poses and shapes to be integrated into your body. Feeling all that pulsing energy vibrating from your tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, all the way to the top of your head. Breath is free and easy. And then gently wiggling your fingers and toes, bending your knees. And we'll just slowly roll up to a seated posture, getting yourself comfortable again, sitting up nice and tall, and just closing your eyes, checking in, seeing how you're feeling in this moment. And then we'll bring our hands together at our heart center and with a collective breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Beautiful. And may you flow freely through your day today. Namaste.